It's Rhythm and Soul Radio. I am Marco Nobles. We have our virtual studio open, and stepping in our virtual studio is a gentleman we've had join us in the past. He is an award-winning artist and producer, and known as the Godfather of Scandinavian Soul. Jonas Rendbo is joining us now here on Rhythm and Soul Radio. How you doing, Jonas?
Thank you so much, Marco. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
some title,
Yeah.
but you know,
Well,
I'll run with it if you say so.
yeah, well, that's you've earned it. You've done quite a bit, worldwide, and now we're hearing more of you here in the states. We when last we talked, it was the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah,
And now we're kind of approaching the end of the pandemic, and you've been able to release projects on both sides of it. So, when last we talked, you had just released the Jonas and the Scratch Professor project, and now you have this new project. That is a compilation of a lot of stuff you've been able to work on during the pandemic.
yeah. Well, uh, some good have come of the pandemic. Out of the pandemic, I definitely was very productive, and yeah, I've been isolated. I had to create.
Right,
I had to create something.
right,
But,
right.
Yeah, but both the last EP, the EP from last year with the songs I did with Scratch Professor, and the EP that's coming out now is old songs that I had in the drawer that I never got to finish, and then during the lockdown, the first lockdown, I had a chance to sit and go through all these demos or sketches of songs or half finished productions that um, I then finally had time to finish.
Hmm.
So it was very nice. I enjoyed you know digging in the drawer and finding some gems that I always wanted to finish but I never had time to. So and it's also sparked a new creativity with me, I think.
Mm. So, like when you started looking into these old songs that you never had a chance to finish, what was what were the ones on this particular project that said, okay, I'm going to finish this one because I know there are probably far more than we get to hear on this project that you could have gone back to tweak and touch up. But what was it about these tracks that made it to this project that that spoke to you to kind of touch up?
Well, to me, they all have a story, um, or there's a story connected to the songs for me.
Hmm.
Um, I love to collaborate with people. The previous EP was all the songs I did collaborating with the Scratch Professor.
Hmm.
And these songs I've been collaborating with different, very interesting uh, artists and songwriters. So the first single is All Systems Go,
Hmm.
which is co-written with an amazing singer from London called Charlene Hector. Uh, some might be familiar with her from being the lead singer of Basement Jaxx,
Hmm.
and also a rapper from here from Copenhagen, Cuckoo Agami, with whom I have a group called Sweatshop, which is sort of like a hip hop soul thing. We've been doing a lot of touring all over Europe with that, and had a few hit songs. So he's been a collaborator for maybe 15 years.
Okay.
Um, so he's on that song too. That's one of them. Then there's a song with Omar, the Godfather
Mm,
of
yes.
Soul,
Yes.
who is also a close friend. My wife is from London, so I lived there for 3 years, and I saw quite a bit of Omar at his studio, and we wrote some songs together. And this song was never finished, so I finally got to finish it. Then there's a song with a new newcomer neo soul artist called Ego LMA. You might
Yes,
have heard of. Yes,
yes, yes.
she's amazing. We wrote a song together many years ago, and I dug that out of the drawer as well. Really good song. And there's a song with uh, the now deceased Linton David Hall, also from London. Some might remember him for his big hit "Sexy Cinderella."
Mhm, mhm.
He was quite a legend as a UK soul artist, R&B soul artist. Um, I got to know both him and Omar through uh, my old manager, who was also managing them, a guy called Keith Harris, who
Mhm,
used to manage Stevie Wonder for 7, 8 years.
mhm.
Um, he was the manager of Omar and Linton David Hall, and then he started managing the group that I was in the at the end of the century called Jones. Um, so that's how I hooked up with them. The last song is with my friend from LA. Well, she lives in LA now. She's originally from Vancouver in Canada, called Honey La Rochelle.
Yes,
Um,
good friend of ours.
yeah, some of you might know her. She's now the lead singer of Brand New Heavies, and she's been touring a lot with Macy Gray, Just Stone,
Roberta
uh,
Flack. She, yeah,
Roberta Flack. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She's one of the most amazing singers I've ever met, and we've done a lot of collaborating, and we've done a lot of touring all over the world together, all over Europe, East Africa, um, the States. I usually stay with her when I'm in LA, and we do a lot of songwriting and recording. She comes here to Denmark a lot as well.
Right, right. It's Rhythm and Soul Radio. We are talking with Jonas Rendbo. He is releasing a new or has released a new EP of songs that he's just described. He's collaborated with numerous artists. The first single is All Systems Go. We've been sharing it here on Rhythm and Soul Radio, and we're going to share it again a little bit later. The name of this EP project is what again?
The name of the EP is All Systems Go. So the
Okay, it
single
is
single is the
title
title
track.
track. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And you mentioned these are things was it intentional or maybe intentional when you released the EP at the beginning of the pandemic was stuff that you had uh, that was unfinished that you had worked on with Scratch Professor, i.e., it was Jonas and the Scratch Professor. Was it intentional that you were going to release kind of like this version two? One was more producer based, so to speak, and the other more with songwriters and other artists that that kind of show that was it intentional to kind of do it in a two part segment like this?
No, I didn't. I didn't think of it like that. The EP with Scratch, we had been planning to do for years, many years. Um, but I don't see him so often.
Hmm.
So we just ended up with a bunch of songs lying on the hard drive, and then when I had the time, I finished it. And it's a bit of the same with these songs on the new EP, but I didn't plan it like that. I just wanted to keep releasing music,
Right, right,
and and,
right.
and also, if there was any planning, it's that I wanted to finish some of the really really good songs that I had just lying on the hard drive, you know.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
I still have a lot of new material as well that
Okay.
should be coming out soon.
Excellent. Obviously, when we've been in this pandemic, whether people listening here in the states or they're listening in Denmark, where you are talking to us from right now, well over a year. Um, we didn't know at the beginning that it would take this long, but now that we're kind of coming out of it, one of the advantages I guess you've always had is you've always throughout your career worked with a lot of different artists, and as evidenced, in these two EPs in particular. As we are coming out of the pandemic, how is it? You mentioned creatively these EPs, this pandemic has stimulated creativity. So now as we come out of it, how is the creativity? What do are there specific things that now you can look forward to differently, because we're able to be out in the world again, and artists like yourself are able to perform in front of people again and perform with other artists again.
Yeah, well, it's definitely making a difference that we're able to play live again. I've really missed that. So that makes a huge difference. You know, we get to meet up with our fellow musicians and creatives, and it also sparks an energy, feeling an audience again,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they've hungered for music, just like we've hungered for playing music. But yeah, I think the pandemic and the lockdown and being forced in isolation has definitely made me reevaluate a lot of things,
Hmm.
but also had time to reflect and to relax, breathe, and be with my family more. But also found out that I can actually collaborate with people online. Doing some stuff with Tony Osia,
Hmm.
uh, online writing. Been doing something with Brad Marquis,
Nice.
and recently I wrote a song with my friend in London, Nicola Quilter. He's also a collaborator for many years with me. Um, we wrote a song together on Zoom in a day,
Hmm.
or in a couple of hours actually.
Okay.
So it's nice to feel that it's possible to do that as well.
Right.
When you miss traveling so much, I love traveling. I love
Mm.
going to London and New York and LA and all over the world. Meet meet people. I think
Right.
it's the greatest thing I've gotten out of being in music is to be able to travel all over the world and make connections with people that
Hmm.
I can collaborate with and be creative with, and constantly meeting new people and being inspired and learning.
Excellent, excellent. You were talking about some of the things you've been working on in the pandemic, and writing songs on Zoom. That seems really interesting to me because obviously it's a completely different energy, I would think, than
Yeah,
being in a studio together. And so talk about. I mean, there are examples of artists who before the pandemic connected online and was able to work together. That's how foreign exchange, got started. They really kind of, were trading tracks back and forth, online, and put together their whole first album that way. And there were others who were doing that. You haven't done that. You hadn't done that before this time that we've been in. So talk about the difference in doing that, and what are some of
Mhm.
the pros and the cons of doing it that way.
Well, I think I will always prefer being in the room with somebody.
Hmm.
I don't. Um, more or less I always collaborate with people. I hardly ever do a song just by myself. I always
Okay.
want to. I always want to connect with someone when I'm creating. And of course, that's easier if you're in the room with someone. But when you have to write with someone online on Zoom or whatever you're using, then you could say the advantage of that is that you have to be really focused. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
you are there in the moment, and you have to make something of it. Of course, you also have to do that when you're in the room with somebody, but then it's easier to drift a little bit, maybe, or uh, talk about a lot of other stuff that doesn't have to do with music, or
Mhm.
whatever you do to get in the mood, or to get your creative juices flowing. It's different when you're in a room with somebody than if you're just on the screen with someone.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So Rhythm and
But
Soul
it's
Radio,
possible.
it is
But
possible. It shows just almost anything is possible. Rhythm and Soul Radio, we are talking with Jonas Rendbo, artist, producer. His new EP, All Systems Go, has recently been released, and we're gonna share the title track shortly. You mentioned there are projects coming up that you're working on, that you've been working on. So why don't we share some of the projects that people can look forward to coming up, as well as how they can, find out more about those projects and follow you and all that stuff with website and social media, etc.
yeah, well, in the connection with what I was just talking about before, about connecting with people, and me always trying to meet new people, and create with someone, not just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a project called People on the Hill,
Hmm.
uh, which is like we call it a worldwide tribe of artists, singers, rappers, musicians, producers, from Denmark, from Sweden, from London, from New York, from LA, from New Zealand, uh, as many different places as possible. So we released an EP called People on the Hill. The title is One. So the next EP, of course, is going to be Two, and
Okay.
that's almost finished. I'm in the process of mixing that now, so that should come out sometime this year, maybe in the fall or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm working on my own next EP. I know this All Systems Go EP is just coming out now, but I'm already gathering songs for the next one, and then working on videos and visuals and all that stuff. Um,
Right.
I'm trying to direct the traffic of the people who are interested in my music to Bandcamp.
Okay.
You know, I'm a little bit fed up with the lack of finance. No, nowadays music is on streaming services is more like a business card. It's not an income
Mm-hmm.
unless you're streaming like many million, many
Right.
million streams, and even with millions of streams, I've been involved with releases that have had millions of streams, but even that is not an income.
Mm.
It takes so much, and it's not really fair, I think. So I'm thinking it's great if you can have thousands or hundred thousands or millions of streams on the streaming services, but really I'm more interested in maybe having people listen to my music who are really dedicated about this style of music or what I'm doing. Maybe have a few hundred followers who will listen to everything I release, and like maybe if I release an EP, they will listen to it 10 times Instead of if you listen on a streaming service, you will only listen maybe for half a minute and then you skip to the
Right.
next song and you never
Right.
come back to that song again. Um, so I think it's a different. One doesn't outrule the other. I think you have to do everything, but I want to connect more with the people who are listening. I try to have
Right.
a closer connection, and I think Bandcamp is a good place for that. It's like a community where artists and fans are closer, and also artists can help each other,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Absolutely.
and fans can show their appreciation by actually buying the product.
Right. And in the times that we're in, it's so important to be able to one connect with your fans, but then also be able to truly economically benefit from the sale of your music. So that going direct to the people, as much as possible, hopefully will allow that. As as we're in this digital age, it's not like in the early days of hip hop when people would sell CDs out of their trunk. It's not. It's a little
Yeah,
bit. It's but that is a model that I know a number of artists like yourself are trying to get back to,
it's
and
not
do it
so
in this
stupid, you know.
digital. Yeah, doing it in this digital age.
Yeah, well, it's not that crazy. It's like we used to laugh about old people hiding their money under the bed,
Right.
but looking at how banks work now, that you have to pay interest to have money in a bank.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's actually not that crazy.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
also now it's so easy to release music. It's excuse me. It's everybody can release something on streaming services. It's easier than ever
Yes.
before, but it's also more and more difficult to get your music heard because 68,000 new songs come out every day.
Mm.
That's the latest number I saw from Spotify, right? On
Wow.
Spotify, 68,000 new songs every day. So it's more difficult to get people's attention.
Yes.
Um, and therefore, I also think that it makes sense to connect with people, to try to get closer with your followers or listeners. So standing on the street corner selling your music or your CDs or vinyls or you know it's not that crazy.
Right. Right.
If I have 100 or a couple of hundred followers on Bandcamp who will pay for my music every time something new comes out, I make a bigger income from that than if I have millions and millions of streams.
Mm.
So in that way, it makes sense. Also, if you play concerts or if you make merchandise or all these things, you have a better chance if you have a personal connection with your audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that being said, why don't we tell everybody that where they can, they how they can get to you on Bandcamp, and I know you have your own label as well with your music and a number of other artists that you work with. So share all that
Yeah.
information for folks so that they know where to go to get to you directly.
Well, on Bandcamp, you can just go on the label Bandcamp site. There you can find myself and all the other artists that we release. So it's called Jonas Music DK, DK for Denmark, .bandcamp.com. And on Instagram, I'm Jonas Soul, JONASOUL. On Facebook, I am Jonas Rendbo, RENDBO. What else is there? I have a website. It's called jonasmusic.dk. where you can also find all the artists and music videos and latest news, all of that.
Excellent. Yeah, and this time it's hard to keep track of all the areas that we have
Mm.
to use to connect with people. Sometimes there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's a
Oh
website.
man,
Some people have TikTok. There's some people still doing Twitter. It's
I'm
a
not
little.
gonna do TikTok. Yeah.
And neither are we. Neither are we. I don't think we're doing TikTok, but I won't say never. It's Rhythm
No,
and
but
Soul Radio. We've been talking with Jonas Rendbo. Again, you can find him on Bandcamp. We'll do that. Bandcamp. Jonasmusic.dk. Bandcamp.com. I think we said that is. Of course, there's the direct website where you can get to everything, which is jonasmusic.dk. And the current EP that's available is All Systems Go. The title track is All Systems Go. Jonas, thank you again for stopping by our virtual studio and talking with us some more. We appreciate it.
thank you so much, Marco. It's a pleasure talking to you.
All right.
Hope to talk to you soon again.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
getting,
when you
I'm
have the
getting,
next project,
I'm getting
well,
used to this, seeing you on the screen.
that's good. We need
Even
to
though I would
continue.
rather be where you are.
We're gonna work that out too. But until then, we'll keep doing this.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. It's
See
Rhythm and
you.
Soul Radio. Jonas Renbo, All Systems Go, right here on Rhythm and Soul Radio.
Look behind the circles of your inner vision.
Surely you begin to see all that's real with clarity.
If you don't stop searching, keep the journey going.
All that's hidden from your view you'll find. Come with me. I think we still have far to go. There's so much we still don't know. Do you believe we'd be safe to dare to lose control? Can you hear it? A voice that's calling you so clearly. You wanna know? Time is right now. Go and tell your people, get ready. Yeah. All systems go. Wake up now. Dig a little deeper with me.
Can you hear me
You
now?
wanna know? A change is coming. Go and tell your people, get ready.
All systems
All systems
go.
go.
Why let fear control you? All the light they stole it.
Knowing where it always was, we've been deceived, you discover.
All you can imagine, all daydream about it.
Impossible if you believe. Come with me. You shouldn't be afraid to run towards the truth that is the shining sun. Do you believe that miracles will happen every day? Can you hear it? A voice that's calling you so clearly. You wanna know?
got a little more. Look to the window, door to your temple, key to your mind, unlock your mental. Download, upload, give me that info. Tell me what your info. You should've known by the time you heard the intro. Rap blazing, amazing, gonna rap like the seasons changing. Run with that, trying to find my soul, then I'll be coming back like a rat in the kitchen, so cunning black. Can't fail if I'm part of that. No systems, red light, green light, go. Red light, green light, gotta roll back to the oceans, reverse the motions. Yeah, take you there or back to the cleaners. Let it go when they come back, genius.
Can you hear it? A voice that's calling you so clearly. You wanna know? Time is right now. Go and tell your people, get ready.